To see where all of our media is, we're actually going to be gravitating more towards YouTube, and we'll of course post on YouTube and then eventually Rumble. But the reason why is because there's fewer commercials, and it's a lot of people have been giving me comments about the videos I have elsewhere. So I just wanted to let you know that we have a channel that's has stay power now on YouTube. So come follow us over there. But we're going to have some fun stuff that we'll announce tomorrow on Monday. Our show is sponsored by JUVENT. Now, JUVENT is fly out, and she was helping me, and she brought her 4-year-old beautiful son. He was just absolutely fun to hang out with, but I had so much fun with him, and I just really checked out of the news, and I'll tell you, it really was feeding my soul. We had to take him to the airport this morning, so I had a little bit of an emotional day, and I was trying to catch up on many, many things. But he was helping me with my podcast, my live the other day. But I will make sure I make up for the live I really didn't do last Thursday, and kind of make up for all the things to cover, because there's a lot of stuff that we need to cover. But I'm going to cover just a little bit of this Anon stuff, a little bit of vindication stuff for you. And one more thing about our sponsor, Meta 247. We asked them, can you please put a website together, because the call center, it's kind of hit or miss of who you get, and what we want to do, what they want to do on the website is they want to answer all the questions, the common questions that are asked. So they were very anxious to go ahead and become a sponsor. Kind of rushed a little bit in doing so. So they have a new toll-free number. It's 1-888-749-0261. That's 888-749-0261. The ivermectin that they have is as low as, well, it could be as low as $1.38 a pill, but I'm putting up here $1.75 a pill, which is really low out there in the market, and it is 12 milligrams. So contact them between the hours of 10 a.m. and 8 p.m. at 888-749-0261 to get ivermectin. This will be a very insightful podcast because it boils down to this. Everything that Anons and tinfoil hatters and, as let's say, New York Post would call us bonker conspiracy theorists have been saying is true. President Trump did something very big, ginormous big when it comes to the swamp news. This is a very Robin Fleetwood Andrews posted this. It's a meme. Pretty much sums up what I'm going to talk about today, because this is vindication for all of you. I know many of you are struggling in many ways, whether it's emotionally, health-wise, financially, and yet at the same time, you also want to see a little bit of justice. You want to see a little bit of retribution, correct? But wouldn't also vindication be important for you because you work so darn hard? It would be just nice to say, thank goodness, finally. Well, you have the leader of the free world posting this. Okay, so this is a picture I'm showing right now, which is a meme of President Trump in front of a tombstone of Joe Biden, and it says Joe Biden executed in 2020, and it's signed by Donald J. Trump. Now, President Trump, I just had to catch up. So I was trying to catch up from yesterday and a little bit from the day before, because again, I was spending time with family. But this was a post by this account, and oh my gosh, even New York Post was going bonkers over this, which is kind of fun. But it's from this account, and it is, so what President Trump is doing, he's not just retruthing it, he's actually taking the link and Soulless, mindless entities are what you see. Democrats don't know the difference. And there's a bunch of tags and handles in this. And then it leads to this Babylon Bee article. Now, Babylon Bee posted this. Biden family worried they may be running out of time to exploit Joe Biden's health. I'm going to get to that momentarily. But first of all, I want to say, who's awesome? Who's awesome? You are. You guys were the ones that started talking about this, and people, of course, are starting to ditch us, and they were just saying, oh my gosh, you're wearing a tinfoil hat, this crazy stuff, that's crazy talk. You are the ones that made this happen. You guys rock the house. I'm going to give you a 60-second quick, just kind of a quick notes of what happened on the Biden 2.0 inauguration. So President Trump, what he did is he confirms that Joe Biden has been executed, that there are clones and body doubles and robotic engineers, soulless, mindless entities are what you see. That's why whenever you see somebody that's posting and they're a bot, they have no heart. And you are fighting with a bot and they don't care. They just do their random posts and they don't care because they're heartless. You have a heart. You care, right? So just remember that because the bots are coming out in full force right now. But this is what I find interesting. There's quite a few things that's interesting. I'm going to show you the 10:06. I'm just going to show you that, not the military time. I'm just going to go at 10:06 p.m. Let me go with Q10 or excuse me, Q1006. Q1006, we are under attack, war, no deals, Q. Now, this is what Q says. UK, period. Rogue failure, period. POTUS decline. Prepared at all costs with hundreds, I don't know how many, maybe 100 exclamation points. Count your beats. Now, remember, Joe Biden's news was that he has cancer or whatever, Bidenitis, whatever he's got, right? And they're afraid that he's going to kick the bucket and all that other stuff. Well, I find it interesting that President Trump posted that post about him being executed just before they make any kind of announcement of whatever the 2.0 Biden is going to be facing, right? So again, in LLIJH's post, and again, I'll show you that what the New York Times is posting here. And it's actually so it's Babylon Bee. Biden worried they may be running out of time to exploit Joe Biden's health. Now, we know Babylon Bee is satire, but this one's not very far from the truth. A lot of other stuff is not far from the truth. But it says, sources close to Joe Biden said members of the immediate family were in full panic mode over the prospect that their days of using the former president's influence for their own selfish gain may be coming to an end. One family member was very blunt. We've got to take full advantage of him or our time with him. And then they're talking about Hunter Biden saying they've got paintings. Again, Babylon Bee is satire, but they didn't mark this one as satire. Okay, so I'm wondering, is this one an actual document that Babylon Bee posted talking about Hunter Biden, how he's got paintings he needs to sell, and what do I do with them once the big guy kicks it? I'm a totally good artist and don't need my dad to sell paintings, but for some reason when I promise buyers special favors, if they make a purchase, the value of my work always goes way up. Now again, this has got to be satire because I doubt that he even said that or even smart enough to say that or even claim that he's a good painter. But my point is that this was the article. Is that the truth, though? Are they worried that he's running out of time? Do they need him to do a few more other things, like sign? Well, he's, like Jimmy Carter, he went out and he went and voted when he was practically, not alive. So is that what's going to be happening with Joe Biden? And then how President Trump is putting that out there, not for him, but for you. I'm going to go ahead and give you just a quick snapshot of what happened on Inauguration Day of Joe Biden. Remember, he was, so if he was executed in 2020, then his inauguration is void, right? It doesn't matter. But here you go. So we have the barbed wire fence or the razor wire fence. Excuse me, let's turn the volume off here. And then we have the military. Okay, you got the razor wire fence all around DC. I'll share why they needed it. Okay, because it's all going to tie in. They needed it. Here we go. Wait, let me just go back here real quick. I just want to. Okay, so remember how it was military guarded, and they had. Okay, the National Guard has been in DC for 50 days. Oops, and since. Hang on. And it's still unclear when the troops can return home. Okay, so then you've got, there's DC. There's the inauguration. All right, this is reporters up in a building, and they're filming this, and this is the inauguration. All the few hundred people that were there, mostly camera crews. Okay, there's a camera crew, but they're filming the inauguration, and even the people were saying it's weird. And then you have this part right here where they were turning their backs to Joe Biden. He was the newly sworn in president, but why would they be turning their backs, right? This is like a very big day, but the backs were turned. And then we have here, okay, this is why they had to lock the razor gates. It's not to have people going into DC. It was to keep the swamp inside of DC. This is Roy Blunt. And if you look closely, a little slow, look. He's got his hands are behind his back. There's his wife. So why is this woman walking with him, right? So they had that on camera. Then we have Nancy Pelosi. Now listen to this.
Seems like they're prepping to herd them all in, but they're not in the Capitol, though, right? They're not in the Capitol building, aren't they? In their apartments or houses or condos or whatever they are. What could this be?
Now, this is Mustang Media posting this on the 27th of January, and there were busloads and busloads of all of the events that were going on. And then this is what I found interesting. Again, this is just collectively what happened under the Biden regime during the administration. Check this out.
And this was one of the, it's one of the things QAnon would post. He'd say, when it's all said and done, look up at the night sky or something like that.
You don't think they're throwing a party?
They're not throwing a fucking Biden party. I'm telling you, I just watched everybody in the White House get arrested.
So this is going to confirm a lot of what you've been sharing. This was really a celebration that the swamp got arrested. And so we are watching a lot of body doubles. We talked about this many, many times. If you're new to my show, I know it sounded like crazy talk, but now it's getting confirmation. And these are the people right over here that are standing in line to get in their little buses. All right, so it kind of ties in all together. And then on Inauguration Day, on the 21st of January, 2021, now there are some people out there that have been talking about President Trump went to a very special place to go ahead and get his 21 gun salute on January 20th of 2021, because he is the commander-in-chief of the Constitution America, whereas Joe Biden was fake Joe Biden, was the president of this fake, a defunct, bankrupt USA Incorporated. So they give 3 gun shots or salutes for somebody that's for a burial, 21 for an inauguration. But I'm not going to show President Trump's. I'm just going to show you this one here. It is on the 3 for Joe Biden.
Cannons firing at 9-second intervals.
Okay, did you notice? They're at the cemetery, right? So they're having this, and of course the news is going to stifle as much as they can because they can't reveal that Joe Biden is a fake Joe Biden. They can't reveal that Roy Blunt was arrested. They couldn't reveal that Nancy Pelosi was under U.S. Marshal and more than likely got processed. They can't reveal all these dirty swamp people have already been dealt with. Why? They need them. They need to keep them alive, to keep them from preventing them from going to prison for their illegal, this is the dirty fake news, for their dirty illegal acts that they have been doing and that they have not been serving our country, and they are getting federal funding. Now, why am I sharing all of this for the inauguration day? Because on this website called Find a Grave, You people, Anons were sharing this, and they were sharing it with me a lot. And I'm like, we already know he got dealt with, but they are actually giving a date of the death date of in 2020 in Guantanamo Bay, Cuba, but he got buried in Arlington. Okay, whatever. Again, I don't want to get into the technicalities of why that happened, but he was executed for treason against the American people under Executive Order 13818, which is the crimes against humanity. For any human abuse crimes, their assets would get seized. So if we know this happened to Joe, again, President Trump knows how we can connect dots. Is it that it is, it has, is this giving you a little bit more confirmation? Because you've only heard it from Anons. Now you're getting President Trump talking about this confirmation on Obama, Hillary, the other Hillary, the Bush family, all of them, right? And then also for election theft, which is 13848, Executive Order 13848. Okay, so, and again, we have the fake Joe Biden. This is when Trump at one of his rallies says Joe is shot. I bet I forgot to mention about the New York was signing using the auto pen, but what will it be for how how do they go ahead and reveal this kind of information? Maybe that, okay, if that's the reason, if he has been executed, all been executed, right? And what else does it mean? Everything that Joe Biden did, signed, enforced is null and void. Unfortunately, it affected millions of lives. And because of his horrible, horrible trade deals, the lives of other countries as well. But it affected millions of lives. We suffered. We have seen so much happen in the first 4 months of President Trump being in office. If Joe Biden could have even touched on 1% of what President Trump did, but he didn't even do that. President Trump did in the first 4 months what he couldn't do in 4 years. So is everything that he has signed that is effective today, is that considered null and void? Can they just go ahead and pass that big, beautiful bill without having the stranglehold from the Democrats in Congress and the rhinos in Congress that don't want to pass that for us, which will be a game changer for everybody? And you know, President Trump, he has a very unique way of having people just go down rabbit holes. I highly suggest, if you have time, that account that he reposted that all the Anons are talking about Joe is executed, is from LLIJH. Take a look at his or her posts. They're pretty revealing. All right, he's talking about what makes a good actors, but what I wanted to go through right here, let me go down a little bit more. He does repost a lot of things, so it's great. But I wanted to go ahead and share this about the Brunson case. The bullet that hit Trump, but it killed Joe Biden. I mean, he's kind of posting some pretty interesting stuff, some great digs, stuff that you have been posting. But I was looking at this, and it even talks about the Brunson case, the evil will get exposed, gone 7 years ago from about Hillary. So guys, goner, Maxine Waters, right? So this gives you a little bit of encouragement. Of what's been going on, because I know you've been thinking, we hear it from a lot of people, but I just need to see it from, I get it. You need to see it from a big name, right? So take a look at some of the posts. It's military related, a lot of military kind of related stuff. But it kind of ties into what's going on. And guess what? What kind of marker we have 2 days from now? June 3rd, 2 days from now, Delta would be shadow presidency, shadow government, insurgency, irregular warfare. Q, the swamp runs deep. They want you divided. They want you labeled by race, religion, class, sex, X, etc. Divided, you are weak. Divided, you attack each other and miss the true target, them. MSDNC, projection. If majority thinks XYZ must be true. Again, they want us to stand together. And it kind of goes right here. Humanity is good. Unity is humanity. Unity is peace. Be strong in the Lord. Pray for strength. Pray for guidance. Pray for America. Put on the full armor of God so you can take your stand against the devil's schemes. June 3rd, Delta again, Q1440. It's boom, 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 boom. A week to remember. It's kind of like an upside down gun. Dark to light, blackout necessary. Q. Another one is Q4394. President Trump tweet. And the best is yet to come. Q. I love this one. Q4396. President Trump holding the Bible in front of the church. God wins. Q. I'll touch on the presser that President Trump had with Elon Musk. There were some doozies in there, but also my thoughts, just my own thoughts about Elon Musk moving on. He's going to be a very busy man. He literally has up until next year. I think it was mid next year to get this multi-planetary life on Mars, onto Mars. He's going to have his Optimus and Grok go on the spaceship to go to Mars, but he has until 2026. Why? Because that's when it's all aligned. The planets are all aligned, and that's the only window of opportunity that we have. And how they're going to make that happen is going to be remarkable. So he's going to be very busy with doing things like this. This is why he already, President Trump and the White Hats, and they've already done their job of doing finding all the dirt about everything that Doge is revealing right now. So you think about this: Elon Musk, he steps aside, he buys Twitter, he opens up the floodgates there for everybody to get back on or open up a new account. And then he was doing the Doge thing, and he was also backing Trump, doing the campaign trail with President Trump. And then he did his Doge responsibilities. Now he's got a great team in place. Now he's got to take care of this, and he's got a very short window to go ahead and do this. And that I'll share another Elon post that I'll have. It has to be sometime next week. But I wanted to go ahead and let you know you were right all this time. Anons, don't give up because of you, because you're now getting vindication. We've been waiting for this for a long time. Yes. Our world is changing. We've got this triangle falling down. We just need to get DC to fall down. But we got the triangle falling down. We got, again, the UK Queen E. She's done, gone. Monarchy. Canada doesn't have really, nobody's claiming Canada. President Trump wants it to be the 51st state. The Pope is gone. That's the Vatican. Now we just have DC. Dennis Moss says it really well. We could not have gone through this without the Anons. Imagine what a beautiful world we have on the horizon once this is done. It's going to be incredible. It's worth fighting for. So hang in there. And if you are struggling in any way, I ask you just to ask God. Just pray and ask God for help and have Him bless you with an answer. He will. It happens to me all the time. And sometimes there are some struggles that come up and some heartaches that come up. And then to see the rain, just the light, the ray of sunshine starts shining in your heart and knowing you've got renewed hope. Maybe President Trump needed to post that to give us some renewed hope, but please hang in there. We know God has already won this. He just needs to let us see this all play out. And the great news is we're going to see a lot of patriotic parades now. None of this rainbow parades. The patriotic parades. It's going to be fantastic. President Trump through Il Donato says, Happy American Pride Month. God bless you all abundantly. Look in the mirror tonight, not to brush your teeth, to brush your hair. Look in the mirror and say, God needed you and God loves you, and you have done a wonderful, wonderful work for Him. And again, because of you, our world is changing. Thank you so much, my surfers, Anons. Have a beautiful evening and day, and I will have a show very soon. Aloha.